Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not going to lie to you. There's still plenty of days where I wake up and go, why do I still do this? Obviously, it's an honor to put out content on a channel that you own. It's sort of like working for yourself, but you definitely don't want to have to live off of the ups and downs and roller coasters of how YouTube operates. I always say YouTube and social media and content creation, I don't care if it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter/X, etc. It's supposed to be fun, but it's not supposed to be your job because, from being canceled to being silenced to being silently canceled, I've just seen too many content creators way bigger than I'll ever be lose their livelihood in one video or one post or just one moment. And so there are certain videos and certain moments that make me sit back and go, I'm still so glad I do this despite the changing ever landscape of content creation. And this video is one of those videos because we have somebody who has made countless, I literally have lost count, of his visions for how to improve champions, especially OG champions in the contest. And it just so happens that this summoner also celebrates a birthday this weekend, and he goes by RSA Grawl. Grawal. And maybe to celebrate, maybe not, maybe it's just a coincidence, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's not for the sake of this video as I go to his rework. We are going to discuss and talk about his vision to improve Loki. Coming off the heels of one of the best, potentially series finales, although the MCU also takes away stakes seemingly with multiverse plots and people coming back from the dead and prequels and all that stuff that makes the stakes of somebody passing on less. But for the moment, it appears that Loki will not get a season 3, and that show will end after 2 seasons with a really powerful finale. And I'm not the biggest fan of Loki like my brother Prof boxes because I'm not smart enough to really understand what the heck is going on half the time. I feel like I am a 3rd grader sitting in on a high school calculus lecture, but that's also why he likes it. He likes that he's not supposed to understand. It's sort of like why I like watching magic shows and I don't understand how the magic's done, but it blows me away. In the same way, Loki is his own sorcerer, magician, whatever you want to call it. I didn't mean literally sorcerer. Sometimes I throw out titles and people are like, Prof, he's not a sorcerer. Look at the comics. I'm like, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying it's sorcery type effects. So yes, we know he is the son of a frost giant, a god of mischief, but he lacks a certain imagination, don't you think? Look at my adoptive family. My father Odin, my brother Thor are so dull, monotonous. Am I good, evil, noble? Nonsense. Call me not mischievous. I merely see the world not as it is, but how it could be. Call me a visionary. Call me Loki. And I don't know how close that is to his actual bio, but I'm guessing it's improved the bio as well. Mystic class, as always, tricks of the god of mischief, curse, and scepter magic. This would make Loki at least god tier, if not beyond god tier. That's the goal of these visions, these buff concepts. Loki's mechanic. The god of mischief returns to the contest with some brand new tricks, immunities, and of course, damage. He gains mischief charges as he performs different combos and utilizes his tricks. He can later cash in on all of his mischief charges for huge damage in his special too. He also punishes the opponent's buffs and passives by stealing and using them for himself as passives. But this time, stopping him will cost you. For if he fails, he will have and gain some massive boost to his attack, making the opponent regret having immunity to nullify. He also has some original curse debuffs, which now have been upgraded with some extra convenience. So, what does all that mean? Let's get into his passive nullification strength. Loki has the unique ability of nullifying not only buffs, but also their passive counterparts, making him really strong in many matches. Looking at you, Hulkling. Points, Scepter. That's amazing. I love this guy. What a gem to this community that this summoner is. And look at all the time he spends on this. Can you imagine writing this? Because I can't. And yet he has. Nullify immunity punishment. Any pesky cosmic or science champions who thought they could bypass Loki's tricks with nullify immunity will find themselves at the wrong end of Loki's scepter, as this will grant him some massive boost to attack rating. Weaknesses: Infuriate, Intimidate, or Taunt. Loki has a surprisingly great immunity to the opponent's debuffs, but Loki suffers from a superiority and inferiority complex, don't we all? And his immunity will be disabled if inflicted with the above 3 debuffs, and once that happens, debuffs will really make Loki's world come crashing down. Nullify punishment. Opponents who aren't immune to nullify will punish nullification, will make winning a fight for Loki an uphill battle. Alright, so we got the ability stats. We'll skip ahead from those. Passive. Each time Loki fails to nullify the opponent's buffs or passive due to any reason, gain a 10% boost to his attack rating for the rest of the fight. That's awesome. This attack boost is unaffected by AAR. Debuffs are 100% more potent against Loki. Loki starts each fight with an enchantment shield passive, granting Loki immunity to all debuffs except Infuriate, Intimidate, Taunt, or Stun. When inflicted with any of these debuffs except Stun, disable his shield for 10 seconds before it returns back. The shield cooldown is paused while suffering from any of these debuffs. Frost Giant Lineage grants Loki immunity to Incinerate, Nova Flames, Count, Cold Snap, Frostbite, and Degem. That's rare. Loki gains plus 19,400 energy resistance, 20% crit resistance, but suffers from minus 8,000 physical resistance. Developer note, Loki heavily punishes the opponent trying to fail his attempts at nullification and will gain crazy damage if he fails. He is one of the most ideal science counters due to his enchantment shield, unless, of course, he's suffering from Infuriate, Intimidate, or Taunt, in which case these science champions will really spell doom for Loki. His immunities have been given to help him deal with their passive counterparts. Lastly, he's got crazy energy resistance and just as crazy vulnerability to physical damage. Hulk Smash smashes Loki. Tricks of the God of Mischief. As the God of Mischief, Loki can perform different combos to gain Mischief charges and perform tricks on the opponent. Performing the medium, light, medium combo inflicts the trick of Telekinesis on the opponent, which is basically an advanced Delirium passive, reversing the opponent's dash and dodge controls, as well as reversing block and heavy controls for 3 seconds, plus an additional 2 seconds for each unperformed trick. Performing a medium, light, medium combo inflicts the trick of Illusion on the opponent, causing them to miss for 3 seconds. Ooh. Plus an additional 2 seconds for each unperformed trick. Performing the medium, light, medium combo inflicts the trick of Transmutation, granting Loki the ability to automatically convert all of the opponent's buffs into debilitating debuff counterparts with the exact same potency and duration as the buffs for 3 seconds, plus an additional 2 seconds for each unperformed trick. This counts as a nullification. Performing the medium combo grants Loki the trick of Agility, allowing him to dodge the opponent's attacks without the Dexterity Mastery for 10 seconds, plus an additional 5 seconds for each unperformed trick. Performing the medium light combo grants Loki the trick of Mesmerism, stunning the opponent for 2 seconds, plus an additional 0.5 seconds for each unperformed trick. By the way, this does make me think of, and I'm sure some people already have made that connection, the Shang-Chi utility and overall kit. Performing a trick disables it for the rest of the fight, indicated by a gray icon unless it is enabled again, indicated by a color icon. By convention, all tricks start enabled. Each time a trick is performed, gain an indefinite Mischief charge for the rest of the fight, max 200. Each time Loki fails to nullify a buff or passive or he is immune to a debuff, gain an indefinite Mischief charge. Loki can't gain Mischief charges while suffering from an Infuriate, Intimidate, or Taunt debuff. Developer note, Loki's tricks are crucial to his kit. They grant him a ton of utility and Mischief charges, which are necessary for the big special 2 damage. His tricks are similar to functioning of Shang-Chi. There you go. The trick of Transmutation needs a bit of explanation. For example, if a precision buff increasing critical rating by 3,000 is active on the opponent, this trick will convert it into a fatigue debuff, reducing critical rating by the same amount. Heavy attacks enable Loki tricks if they are not already enabled. Attack is key to stack up Mischief charges for that big special 2. Special 1, he's got the Curse of Agony. Use the trick last used by Loki. And sorry, this is a longer than normal video, so I'm trying to kind of do an overview of this, and I don't mean to be disrespectful and not read everything, but it's just a longer video. Special is a quick and simple way of gaining Mischief charges and stealing opponent's buffs. Special 2, Cryokinesis? Second hit of the special gains plus 1,000 attack rating for each Mischief charge on Loki. This is the main damage source of Loki, and it bypasses all damage caps, thus making him a great Abyss and Necropolis option. Okay, that might be the title of this video, since Necropolis is so relevant right now. In order to make sure he isn't too broken, OP last ability has been added. Special 3, Mayhem. This attack can be used as an indefinite number of times, but its corresponding benefits will only be granted the first time it is used in a fight. Loki can cast Scepter Magic, granting or inflicting certain effects depending on the trick. Trick of Telekinesis, Illusion, Transmutation. We've gone over all of these until this is another source of utility for Loki. Choose as you wish. Signature ability, Ascendant, rising in power through sorcery and subterfuge. Loki generates an additional 2 to 5.5% power per second as long as he is below 1 bar. This signature ability has been retained from his old kit because, honestly, Loki doesn't need anything else. Synergy bonuses, he's got the Thor Angela, Thor Rags sibling rivalry, and you can see those advantages there. Enemies, Hela and Hulk. Recommended masteries, parry, precision, and cruelty. I know I kind of sped through that last part, but I didn't want this video to be a 20-minute video. RSA Grawl, you are the man. Happy birthday. This might be your greatest and most impressively specific and thought out champion spotlight rework ever. And that's saying something given how many years you've contributed to this channel with your genius thoughts. So, as always, I get to do this because I'm still on YouTube, and that is really cool. Happy birthday. Please say happy birthday to this awesome summoner in the comments below. And remember, this is just a champion spotlight concept. Some people think these are too OP and Kabam would never do it, but I still think to highlight someone's genius creativity and all the writing that goes into this makes it more than worth it in a YouTube video on this channel. Have a good one. And happy birthday, once again, our dear summoner.